But then that interview, what, how much questions they ask?
No, they will ask 3 questions, they can ask like 20 questions, they can, it depends, okay? So there is no fixed amount of questions. So today we are going to learn how our system boots, okay? And what are the different modes for the system. Different modes means in every mode the system behavior is different, okay? So we have like 7 modes, different modes. Each mode the system behaves differently. And today we are also going to learn about how to start the services. Okay? How to start some services. How can we start the services? If I stand here, still my recording is good?
Yes.
Good.
But last video I watched, I mean, if somebody start talking in the first line, we won't hear your voice.
Got it?
I mean,
Don't talk too much first line.
sorry Melis, because last week he was there, I heard his voice.
So I'm gonna the next teacher. Don't worry, man.
Because, yeah, he was explained to next person, so I was watching the video, I hear his voice for like 3 minutes.
For us it was good because he was explaining previous enough.
15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm trying to reduce the time.
Okay.
That's why
Thanks for honest feedback.
Alright. It's not gonna sit down in the front anymore.
Okay guys, so today this is important. If you don't know how your system is booting up, how can be your good system administrator? Suppose while you turn on your machine, the system is coming up and it is failed. So you have to know what stage your system is failed and why it is failed. If it is failed, how can I troubleshoot it? Okay? So, you know, we have like our history. Give the health system to my students on the internet, WebEx, they give all control, and on the WebEx they are watching him, and at the same time they are asking him to fix the system. They literally give the health system. And if you perform well, so you know you will fix the system. And you have to know what stage what the system is doing. If you don't know, means again you cannot fix the issue. So an interview point of view, this topic is very important. Okay? So I will go in detail. However, what happened when I turn on the machine? Anybody? What happened when I turn on any machine?
Search for something.
Start running all the programs, hardware and
What happened when I turn on the machine?
Electricity.
start
Huh?
Turns out.
The power machine starts and it goes to check the BIOS.
First thing is what happened? It's a BIOS. BIOS initialization happened.
Go to BIOS.
Okay? So you will see like a BIOS, right? When you start, you will see like a HP, Dell, whatever the Sony Vaio, whatever the laptop you have, you will see the screen, it's some background. So basically the BIOS initialization happened. So what the BIOS will do in the background? It will check the, sorry? It will check the system integrity. Like system integrity means, you know, what vendor RAM is installed, how much RAM, how much, like what processor is installed, like, you know, what virtualization is enabled or not, and you know, how much disk, how many disks, you know, it has a controller card or not. It will collect all the information. Okay? Because eventually that information used by the operating system. So BIOS is not vendor, you know, specific to the hardware vendor. It is not like a common. Dell has their own BIOS. HP has their own BIOS. Okay? And your IBM machines has their own BIOS. So each hardware has their own BIOS. So BIOS initialization happened. So BIOS stands for basic input output system. It checks the system integrity. Okay? make sure it will all the hardware, whatever the component, hardware component attached to your system, it is in the good health. Once the BIOS happens, what the BIOS will do? BIOS passes control to the MBR. Okay? Now this MBR, again, it's a generic thing. Okay? Master boot record. Okay? What is MBR? MBR is the master boot record. What happened in the operating system when in the disk, when you install the operating system, this is your disk. It has stack of CDs, right? Disk has a stack of CD and it's divided into the sectors. Okay? Sectors, it divides into the sectors like this. So when you do the operating installation, there is a first sector of the disk. Okay? First sector of the disk, the MBR is installed. What is the size of the MBR? MBR size is around approximately 512 bytes. Very small size. How much? 512 bytes. So what happened again when the system, when we turn on the system, the BIOS initialization happened. Then BIOS check all the hardware integrity check, and it is passes control to the MBR. Okay, so it is it will check the where the MBR installed. It is the machine, all the hardware is passes control to the MBR. MBR is called the first stage of the bootloader. It is also called the first So first stage of the bootloader, it is get loaded in the memory. Okay. So whatever this thing happens, BIOS initialization. If I say BIOS initialization happens, what do you mean by initialization?
To start.
To start. So if I am saying BIOS initialization happens, so where the initialization happening? In the memory. Very good. So where it is happening? In the memory. Whatever is happening, and then I say it passes control to the MBR. Okay? What is passes control to the MBR? It is loading the MBR sector into the memory. So this is all about the memory. Okay? So it passes control, and MBR is also called the first stage of the bootloader. Okay, MBR stands for Master Boot Record. What's MBR stands for? Master Boot Record. So it will passes control to the. Then what happened? The MBR, after MBR initialization, MBR look for the grep. MBR passes control to the grep. Grep. This is the bootloader name in the Linux. Now this is, since when it starts grep, then operating system comes into the picture. Okay? So MBR passes control to the grep. So where the all the grep info, first thing, what is grep stands for? What is grep stand for? Grand Unified Boot Loader.
Can you repeat it, sir?
Grand Grand Unified Bootloader. This booting sequence, if I call you 3 in the morning and ask, okay, tell me the booting sequence of the Linux machine, you just start. Open power of the machine, the BIOS initialization happen, BIOS do all the hardware integrity check, and it passes control to the MBR sector. That is the first stage of the bootloader. As the MBR is resides in the, you don't have to tell everything, like it's the first stage of the BIOS passes control to the MBR, then MBR look for the grub and passes control to the grub. Okay? So grub, if the interviewer do the cross questioning, okay, where the MBR resides, then you can say the first stage of the first sector of the your hard drive. Then interviewer asks, what is the, can you give me the approximate size of the MBR? 512 bytes. What is the MBR stands for? Master Boot Records. Apart from this, there is no questions. There is no questions related to MBR. Then they will come, like once the MBR passes control to the grub, the grub is also called the second stage of the bootloader. Okay, it is also called second stage of the bootloader, where it is resides under the boot partitions. When you install the operating system, what it means, slash means root. Under the root there is a boot directory or separate partition. All the grub is installed. Okay, so the grub installed under the slash boot partition. Then what the grub will do? Grub will initialize the kernel. What the grub will do? Initialize the kernel. What the grub will do? Initialize the kernel. Then what the kernel will do? What is the kernel?
Kernel is a connecting between hardware and software.
It's a brain.
Very good. Kernel is the brain, you can say heart, of the operating system. Not brain, I can say heart of the operating system. Because without the kernel, there is no operating system. The kernel has to identify the device. So you can see there is a multiple devices, right? What are the different hardware devices in our system, laptop and hard drive, in our servers?
It's like RAM,
RAM, network card, motherboard, hard drive, processor, keyboard, mouse. These are all the hardware devices. Kernel has to understand how to communicate with each individual devices. If we give any instruction for any device, how the kernel can communicate, right? So kernel has to identify. So what is kernel? Is the heart of the operating system. That's the main core. Whatever the communication happen between your operating system to hardware, the kernel is the core part. It's directly work with the hardware components. Kernel is nothing but collection of all the hardware drivers. What do you mean by drivers? Your car can move without driver?
Not yet.
No. Not yet. That's a true statement, not yet. But in future, again, there will be an autopilot is going to drive your car. Auto driver, right? So same here, without driver, your car is just a piece of big hardware. It's just a piece of metal. You are without driver, no use. Without horse is a horse. You how can you ride your horse? You need a driver, rider. If you have a bicycle, how can you ride your bicycle? You need a driver. So if you want to operate any piece of hardware, what do you need? Drivers, right? So kernel is basically collection of all the drivers. Clear? Again, we have totally one dedicated topic. How can you load the kernel? So in the drivers, what we call in the Linux modules. What we call modules. So we have how to manage the modules. We have whole one topic. Okay. So kernel is the heart of the operating system, and all the hardware components connected with the kernel. So what the grub will do? Grub initialize the kernel. Again, where it is initializing?
Memory.
Very good, in the memory. Then what the kernel is doing?
It's checking. Oh.
Very good. It detects all the hardware device. Okay, I have memory card. I have this memory card. I have this processor. I have this driver. This drives. I have this network card. It will detect all the hardware devices. Then what the kernel is doing? Very good. Who said? Okay. Very good. It initialize the modules. Initialize the drivers. Okay. It detect all the devices. Oh, I have so many devices. Okay, how can I use it? Okay, these are the drivers for them. So what the kernel is doing? Detect all the devices and initialize all the modules. Then, and third thing kernel will do, mount the file system into read-only mode in the memory. Where it is mounting? In the memory. In read-only mode. This is very important. Three things. During the boot, what the kernel will do?
Detect all devices.
Detect all the hardware devices. Third thing is, second thing is, initialize the drivers, modules. Third thing is,
Read-only mode. Running.
mount the file system in read-only mode. Again, you guys are confused. Okay, detecting all the devices is fine. Got to understand. You know, initializing drivers. Okay, makes sense. You know, we have this hardware installed. These are the software we need in the memory to your hardware can work. So then, what is meant by mount? Mounting the file system into read-only mode. Root file system into read-only mode. Mounting means, what do you mean by the literal meaning of mount?
Install.
Huh?
Install.
Very good, install.
To bring it to the shape.
To bring it to the shape,
Make it readable.
make it readable, make it available. If I say I mount my book on the table, means I will make my book available on the table for reading, right?
Connect.
I said I mount my TV on the wall. What that means, I will make it available, right? My TV on the wall. Mount, make it available.
Connect.
Not connect, make it available is the better term based on our, Linux or our technical term. So it is what the kernel will do, mount the file system into read-only mode. Which file system into read-only mode? So now my system is mounted into read-write mode. The once the system is up, the file system df-h, if I do, this is my file system root, right? This is my file system. It is mounted into read-write mode once the system is come up finally. But during the boot time, that drive, it gets mounted in the memory. In which mode? Read-only mode. Why it is need to mount into the memory read-only mode? So after the kernel initialization happens, what are the responsibilities for the kernel during the boot time? Very good. What it will do? Detect all the devices, initialize the drivers, and third thing is mount the file system. File system means you got it, right? Wherever the operating system installed. Where is the operating system installed? Hard drive. What is the mount point in our file system? /root. That thing is make it available in your memory in read. Then after that, kernel mount the file system into read-only mode. There is first process start in your operating system. First operating system process starts. The interviewer will ask, what is the first operating system process start during the boot time? Okay, operating system process, not the booting process. If I ask you the booting process, what will be the answer? BIOS, very good.
BIOS, MBR.
BIOS is the first process during the system boot, right? But if I am saying operating system process, first operating system process starts. Init is the process will start. This process will start. Okay? What the init process will do? Init process will read the init tab file. Okay? What this process will do? In Linux, everything is it's a file or a process. Okay? Everything is a file and or a process. So init process, this is the process will start and it will read the init tab file. So which init tab file it's read? Where all the configuration file resides? Very good. ETC. Where all the configuration file resides? Under ETC. What is the file name? Init tab file. It read this init tab file. Okay. Why it is read this init tab file? What information contains this init tab file? It will read what part of the init tab file? This. Why the root mount the file system? Why the kernel mount the file system into read-only mode? Because init tab, etc init tab file make it available for init process. Okay, init process read the init tab file. What value it read the init tab file? It is read this value 3. Okay, everywhere it's make sense to everyone so far. So I will start from the beginning. What happened when I power on the system? BIOS initialization happened. What the BIOS do? It do all the integrity check and passes control to the MBR. Where the MBR resides? First sector of the hard drive. Right? Then MBR will pass control to grub. Where the grub resides? /boot. Okay? What the grub will do? Initialize the kernel. Very good. What it will? What the kernel? Once the kernel initialization happen, what the kernel will do? Detect all the devices. Initializing all the drivers and mount the file system into read-only mode. Why it is mount the file system into read-only mode?
Because then
it start the init process and it want init process to read etc init tab file. Okay, and it reads the number 3. Okay, what is number 3? I will cover now. So in Linux we have 0 to 6 run levels. How many run levels? 7 run levels. 0 to 6. Each run level, the system behavior is different. Okay, from today you are going to log in as a root. Okay, forget about the regular user anymore. And from today you are going to use your system appropriately. No power off, power down, no. If you want to take your system down, take down properly. If you want to bring up the system, bring up properly. If you want to reboot the system, reboot properly. Okay? Otherwise, it will crash your system. Then you have to rebuild the system. It will take time. So, it has, how many run levels we have? 7 run levels. Okay, if I call you in the 2 in the morning and if I ask how many run levels we have in Linux? 7 run levels. What are they? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 4, 5, 6. Okay, what is 0?
Exit. Exit.
What is 0? 0 means shut down. You can see here, halt. Do not set the init to this. It will shut down. How can I shut down my system? Okay, if I do like a init, so the console will be the better. You will see how everything like what happening on your system. So if I go here, if I say init 0, what happening? My system is shutting down. If you want to shut down your system, if you want to done with your practice, if you want to close your system, before shut down your laptop, you have to shut down the system properly. Got it? So what is init? What is 0? Run level 0. Shut down. Halt. Okay? What is run level 1? So, cat etc. What is run level 1? Single user mode. What do you mean by single user mode? Single user mode is the maintenance mode. Only root user can log into the system. If my system is up, anybody can log into the system. If I bring down my system into the single user mode for maintenance, my file system get corrupted. I want to fix my file system. Till I fix my system, I don't want my system to be on the network. What I can do? I can bring the system into the maintenance mode. Suppose I have a Red Hat 5 system, Red Hat 6 system or 5 system. I forgot my root password. Or maybe there is a system administrator, the company fired him, he left without delivering the root password. Root password is how critical? Very critical, right? You cannot do anything without logging to the system as a root. So you don't know the root password. How can you crack the root password? So you have to go into the single user mode. Oops. You have to go into the single user. You have to go into the single user. Did you remove my?
No. Not this one?
Yeah, this is mine. Okay, so what is you have to take down the system into the single user mode to recover the root password. But init command you can only run when you log in as a root. Okay, so suppose example, this is my power on the system. This is, you are sitting in the California, but your data center in Chicago, or you are sitting in Chicago, your data center in California. But I will cover later how you access the console. This is the console, means this. You will watch all the messages what happening during the boot time. If you do escape, you will see all those things what happening in the boot time. So your system is coming up. Now my system is up. I don't know the root password. I don't know the root password. So how can I, if I'm not able to log into the system, how can I bring the system into the single user mode?
When it's booting, you can choose the,
Bio.
like in save mode in Windows. Maybe there is something. When it's booting, you can use the save mode like in Windows. Maybe it has the same like save mode.
Again, what happens if you boot the system into the save mode?
You
It won't prompt you for the root password?
You don't have to type the root password. So you enter and then you configure and then you
Yes.
Simple.
So here, same thing. What I will do, I don't know the root password, I will shut down, Control Alt, then it will shut down my system. Okay, I shut down my system. Then I will start. Say start. Okay. So now it is booting BIOS. After the BIOS initialization, once the grep is loaded, I hit any key. What I got here? Grep prompt. Okay. Now I got a grep prompt. So this is the kernel version installed in my system. So here, if you watch the instruction, how can you boot the system? Like, use arrow keys to select which entry highlighted, press enter to boot selected OS and E to edit. So what I have to do, I highlighted, I want to edit this parameter, edit E. Then I will go to the second line, where is the kernel? Again, I told you, right, what the kernel will do.
kernel will detect all the hardware device and initialize it.
Kernel will detect all the devices and initialize the drivers. Then
Then read only system.
on the file system into read-only mode. Okay, this is the file is responsible for detecting all the devices, and this is the read-only option. This is the option responsible for mount the file system into read-only mode, and it is specifying all the device, right, where it is your root file system. And this is init rd file, initial RAM disk file. This file is responsible for what?
Second is which mode is your initializing?
This file is responsible for initializing your drivers. This file is responsible for initializing drivers. This file is responsible for detecting all the devices. Got it? So that is called initial RAMFS. Init RAMFS, initial RAM file, random access memory file system. Clear? So I don't know the root password, but I want to force system to boot into the single user mode. So I select my wherever the kernel is defined. Then I will say go to E to edit. Right? I just put the space and hit 1. I can pass during the boot time. I can say to the kernel, don't go to the init tab file to get any run level. Just from here, run level mode 1 means single user mode. Run level 0 means shut down, hold. Right? So what I pass here? 1 means single user mode. Right? Then I say hit enter. Sorry, 1 and hit enter. Then boot B to boot. So what my system will do? I already passed my run level. It don't have to go to the etc init tab file. So what happened? I got the shell prompt without password prompt. Right? Now I can reset my password. I reset my password. Then I want to boot the system into run level 3. Init space 3. Now my system is booting into run level 3. So far everybody clear? What is the purpose of run level 1? Maintenance mode. Recovered. Now how to recover the root password? How to recover the root password?
You enter in edit mode and then initialize it first and then set the password and update it when you need to.
Okay. How can we recover the root password? Shut down your system, power off your system. After the BIOS initialization, hit any key, go to the grep menu. Okay? Select the appropriate kernel version and hit E to go into the edit mode. Then go to the second line where the word kernel defined, starting with the kernel, and hit E to go into the edit mode again. And end of the kernel line space 1. Then hit enter. Then hit B to boot. Then what happens? The system will boot up in the single user mode. You will get the shell prompt without password, then you can reset it. Right? It's a simple process, right? So can you repeat again?
Yes.
Okay. What happened? Like first, how to recover the root password?
Shut down.
Shut down the system.
Zero reboot.
And then finish
Sorry?
the round.
Show again.
You want me to show again? Sure.
I just missed one part.
So what happened? Again, I will shut down the system.
What did you press now?
So I can close. This is the virtual machine, so this is the way I shut down. Or I can go into the settings and power off. Or
Oh, power off.
yes, so my system is power off now. I started here, so I will wait until the BIOS initialization happen. As soon the BIOS initialization happen, I will hit any key. I will hit space bar.
Oh, any.
Any key. I will hit space bar. Then I will go into the E. I hit E, edit menu. So I will go to the second line and hit E and space 1 and hit enter and B. And please, I want everybody to try this. Got the root access, it means they got control, like they can get all the information, right? So in the real time, it's not easy to go to the physical to the system. They have lot of restrictions, lot of cameras, and lot of security. Like even if you go for the small companies, at least they have like a 2 to 3 authentication methods. First, they will use your thumb. Then after thumb, they will ask you to scan your ID. Once scan your ID, then they will ask you to enter the password. So they will keep record who's coming into the system data center where the servers keep. So we call the place called data center. Data center, all the servers physically resides.
So it's not possible.
It is not possible anybody can enter into the server room.
So this can't be done remotely.
But again, to get the remote access, that's right, you can connect to the console remotely, but there will be a lot of restrictions. Who can get the remote access, who cannot? It's not like anybody user can connect to the any system, no. So they have lot of passwords. Okay, and they record who is logging to the system what time. In my last job, one time, some reason Oracle DBA find the root password and he did nothing. He just switched to the root and exit. Some reason I checked like in history and why this guy is like it's recorded in the messages file, and I said why this guy switch user to Oracle, how he get the password. Then I inform my manager. My manager inform IT director. How he get the password. Then, eventually I don't know how he get the password. We changed the password, but he got fired same time. So people not supposed to do, they are not supposed to do. Okay? So just do your work.
So did you find out how he get the password?
He's like when we are typing somebody, like he just wants the keyboard and he got it. Then he tried. The password is working or not. I got the right password. So, you know, that's an important thing. Like, nobody can do like they are not supposed to do. So, we got the, so far how many run levels we got it?
0 and 1.
0 and 1.
So, if I call you like at 2 in the morning and say how many run levels, what will be your answer? 7. What are they? 0 to 6. If I ask you what is run level 0? Shut down. If I ask you run level 1? Single user mode. Very good. What is run level 2? Run level 2 is the multi-user mode without NFS. Okay? What is NFS? NFS is the file sharing. Network file sharing. What is network file sharing? So, if I have one system, okay, if I have one system, I did. So, whenever I feel like something and I want to talk, I just record it. So, if I have one system, system 1, system 2, if you want to share anything, files and directly from this system to this system, you can share using the NFS. In Windows, you will right click and share the select sharing tab, and you give the user permissions, right? So here what we have, how can we share in Unix to Unix across Unix platform the files and directories? Using the NFS. So in run level 2, what is run level 2? Multi-user mode. What do you mean by multi-user mode? Means your system is on the network, multiple users, all the users can log into the box. The only thing is does not work. What thing is does not work? You cannot share your files. Okay? So what is 0?
Shut down.
What is 1? What is 2? Multi-user mode without NFS. What is 3? Multi-user with NFS. Network file sharing. So what is 3? Multi-user mode with NFS. So how many run levels you know so far? 4. 0 to 3. 0 is shut down, 1 is single user mode, 2 is multi-user without NFS, and 3 is multi-user with NFS, and 4 is there is not defined. Run level 4 is not defined. If you want to use, you can customly define and use. So if anybody asks you what is run level 4, is undefined. If you want, you can customly define and use. Clear? So how many run levels you know so far? 5. Again repeat, everybody. 0, shut down. Run level 1, single user mode. Run level 2, multi-user without NFS. Run level 3, multi-user with NFS. Run level 4, unused or undefined. Run level 5, multi-user with X Windows. Okay? If you are display support, if you type init5, you will get the graphical user interface. GUI.
What was the file?
Multi-user with X Windows. X Windows means GUI. So usually our server is in which mode? 3. We don't need graphical user interface. We don't need X Windows. What we call the graphical user interface? X Windows. We don't need that. Okay?
What is GUI?
Graphical user interface.
Oh, okay.
You can manage your system, administrator your system using GUI, like your Windows.
Graphical user.
Yes. So what is 5? Multi-user. Multi-user means multi-user can log in. So you can say X11. X11 is the X Windows or graphical user interface. What is run level 6? Reboot. your system reboots. If I want to reboot this system, what we have to do? Init 6. Init space 6.
What's the difference between 0 and 6? That's also
0 means it will shut down the system.
reboot.
6 means it will reboot, shut down and bring up.
Restart.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Okay. So we will repeat again. Please, everyone. How many run levels we have? 0 to? 0 to? 6. What is 0? Shut down. 1? Single user mode. 2? Multi-user without NFS. 3? Multi-user with NFS. 4? Unused. 5? Multi-user with X Windows. 6? Reboot. This question, booting sequence and run levels, sure I'm going to ask in you in the next Qs.
Reboot.
Which one?
No, 6 reboot. There is 7. 0. It starts from 0.
Run level? Yes. It can be one question, it can be multiple questions. Okay guys? Everybody clear?
Number 4 and the 5, unused. What does it mean?
Huh?
Unused, I think.
Unused, it is not defined. It is not defined. You can see like unused, not defined. There is no run level 4 defined in your system. It just, if the users want to use it, you can define and use it. Unused.
I mean, it doesn't affect.
So what's not defined?
Run level 4 is not defined. But just think like it's not defined. Okay, answer is now not defined. Means it is not defined what the system, like this behavior. How the system is have to be behave in the 4, it is not defined. If you want, you can define and use it. But nobody do it. Every mode, every run level, it has a different behavior, right? Run level 0 means your system is shut down. Run level 1 means your single user mode, maintenance mode. Run level 2, multi-user can connect, the system is on the network, but no NFS sharing. Run level 3, full mode, multi-user mode with NFS. 4 means it is not defined how the system behave. It is unused, but if you want, you can use it.
So you can assign any of those to 4?
Yes, you can say like I want some specific features on the run level, you can do it, but nobody use it. Got it? Run level 5, X Windows with multi-user mode. Run level 6, reboot. So these are the different modes, run levels we have in the Linux, not only Linux, in run level, in all the Unix. Solaris, AIX, HP Unix, everywhere. But each, like run level 5 in Solaris is different than run level 5 here. Run level 5 in Solaris, it will totally shut down the machine physically. But here we are using for X Windows. Now, how can I check my system is booted in which run level? Who-r is the command. It will tell you what is my run level now? 3. If I say another command is the run level. What is my run level? What are the commands I can use to check my system is booted in which run level? Who-r and run level. Okay. Now, this is my system. I open any tab where I define the default run level.
At the end of this file, there is a ID.
Interviewer asks, okay, how to define default run level?
In EPC,
What is your answer?
What is the question again?
How to define default run level? Who answered? Azmat? Okay. How to define default run level? What will be your answer? So, logically, right?
LADTP.init tab.
So why you guys are quiet? So during the booting process, the kernel is mounting the file system into read-only mode and start the init process. What the init process will do?
Identify which.
Read the init tab file, right? So where we define the init tab file? Where we define the default run level? Init tab file. So suppose what is the default run level here?
3. ID is 3.
So what happens if I change to 6?
It will reboot all the time.
What happens if I change to 6?
It will reboot all the time.
So I change to 6. And what I do, I said like a reboot. What happened now?
Shut down and come up and shut down, come up again and again. It will continue doing that. Yes.
Now is my BIOS initialize happen, then grep is loading, then grep is initializing the kernel. Okay, kernel, mount the file system, read the, now it read the init tab file. What happened? Sending. What happening here?
Rebooting again.
Why it is rebooting? Very good. I defined the init6 in which file? etc init tab file. How can I fix it?
User mode.
How can I change it?
Go to user mode.
Single mode.
Single mode.
Single user mode. Very good. How can I go to single user mode?
Reboot.
So during the reboot, very good. I want to practice this. So after reboot, now my system is coming down. After the BIOS initialization, hit the space bar, go in. I am saying edit space 1, enter B. Now my system will boot up into the single user mode. Once it's boot up into the single user mode, what I will do?
You're gonna change the init tab, etc init tab default to 3 or 5.
So I will open etc init tab file and then go into the bottom and change 3. Then reboot. What happened now?
Oh, run up like normal.
Huh?
It will be normal going to the init 3 mode.
So if you want to watch, just escape. You will see like what your system is doing. Now it is booting, starting the services. Thank you. I got the prompt. Clear? So where we define the default run level? etc init tab file. Okay? etc init tab file. Clear? Then suppose I know if something wrong. Okay, let me continue with this our run levels. So go back to our booting sequence. Go back to our what happened.
सर उसको repeat करेंगे
किसको?
init tab how to define default run level.
Just VI and go to the bottom of the line. There is a 3 change 6. Sir, I don't have time. Okay, if you after class you can sit, I will show you. So what happened? I have time, but some of the students don't have it. So I don't want to block them. So init process, what the init process will do? What is the first process is started? Huh? What is the first process? First operating system process starts. Huh? Init, right? How can I check the process tree? There is a command ps tree. If I do pipe less, it will show you the process tree. First this process started, then this. So what is the command I have? ps tree. If I say q, it's a quit. So That will be the hierarchy of the operating system processes start in your system. So, what the init process will do? What the init process will do? Read init file, right? etc. It is the init file for reading the run levels. What the init file, after that what happened? All the run level starts. So in run level, what happened? If I say run level 3, if I say run level 2, run level 1, so what run level starts? So basically I am saying services start. These are the services starts if this run levels. So that services is called the system V services. Okay? Hold on. So here the run level starts. Before that run levels, I will say init process will get the information about the which run level the system has to boot. Then what happened? There is a etc rc dot d rc dot sys init file get executed. So I will write here which file? etc rc dot d rc dot sys init. This is a shell script. This shell script get executed. What this script will do? This script initialize, configure the hostname, configure the UDAV devices, configure the firewall rules, configure the network, configure the hostname, configure the SC Linux. This script responsible for it. Then after that the system V services started.
Sys what?
Sys init, system initialization script. So network interview interviewer will ask you, what is the name of the system initialization script name? What is the name of the system initialization script name? What will be your answer? etc rc.d rc.sys init. This is the shell script responsible for configuring your system like hostname, UDAV devices, your SC Linux, IP tables, networks, hostname, and important thing this script will do, mount the file system into read-write mode. What the kernel will do? Mount the file system into read-only mode. This script responsible for mounting the file system into read-write mode. Okay?
That's RC, not RE, right?
RC dot D, RC dot SNF.
У меня вот это не работает. USTR. Тоже не работает. Нет, я не пробовала.
Okay? So after this thing happens, what happened? Run levels. Run level starts. Please read my notes in detail. What the run levels do? Let's see what the run levels do. So how the run levels defined? Under etc rc.d, can you see these directories? Huh?
The blue is not visible.
Blue is not visible. If anybody has to complain anything, they fast. They complain. etc rc.d. Can you now?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So what is this each individual directory represents?
RC0 that means initial 0, 1.
Oh, yeah, run level.
Very good. RC0 is the RC0.d is run level 0 directory. Whatever the files under that directory, all the files get executed. Run level, this directory belongs to the specific run level. RC0.d is for run level 0. RC1.d is for run level 1. RC2.d for 2. Run level RC3.d for run level 3. RC4.d for run level 4. RC5.d for run level 5. RC6.d for run level 6. Got it?
Got it.
And you can also see the rc.sys in it, right? That's the file. It gets started. That's the file is responsible for. This is the file is the system initialization script. What this file will do? Configure your network device, configure your UDEV device, configure your host name, configure the SC Linux, mount the file system into read-write mode. Which script? And this is a shell script. And you can see, right, like I will show you the example. I VI the rc.sys in it. Can you see this is a shell script, right?
Yeah.
So it's doing all these things. So can you see this? Welcome to. You are reading this when the system is starting, right? So I just added here welcome to Parvan. Let's see, this will show up during the boot or not. I just change it. Welcome to Parvan CentOS. Now that script is ran. Okay? So what happening? That system initialization script is running. Now the system service is starting and then this. Clear? Very good. So in this each let's take 5 minutes break. Okay guys, don't just time up. So what this directory represents? Each directory has its own run level directory. RC0.d is the run level 1 directory, and RC1 run level 1 directory, RC2 run level 2, 3 directory, 4 directory, 5 directories. So these are the files get executed based on the run level. Okay, so if you see RC, this is our run level, right? Standard default run level. So I will cd to the directory. So where I am now? etc rc.d, rc3.d. So look at the files here. So what do you have here? So these are the files under RC3. So you will notice some files starting with the uppercase K and some files starting with uppercase S. So uppercase K means kill, uppercase S means start. So suppose you can see K60 NFS. These are the symbolic link files. How can I see it's a symbolic link or not? How can I see? Very good. ls-l, right? ls-l, it will show these are the link files. It's a symbolic links. Which file it is linked to? It's going one directory back. Underneath there is a directory called init and all this file exists there. So whenever you install any software in your machine, there is that service. If you want to start, the startup files goes under this directory. What is the absolute part of the directory? Startup script directory?
Home, root,
etc.
etc, init.d.
So if you look at here, right, and I say like a NFS, what is saying NFS directory? One directory back means you are coming in. Here there is a init directory. Here these are the startup files. So where is this file started? Resides etc rc.d init.d, and it's also keep the information under etc init.d. These are the same files. Don't get confused. Okay? etc init.d, etc init.d and etc rc.init.d. Both locations have the same files. Okay? So I will just give you the example how the services works in Linux. Main services, every service is run as a, whatever the service you started, it will run as a process. That process we call daemon. Okay? So every service has a daemon. Example bot. There is a HTTPD service. I will say service HTTPD start. This is the way I can start. What command I can use to start the specific service in the system? HTTPD service. Service is the command. Service HTTPD start. Can you see this is started? So what happened when it started? You can see this daemon is started. /usr/sbin httpd. Right? So what is daemon? Daemon is the instance of the program which running in the memory. Please write down this definition. Daemon is the instance of the program running in the memory. DAEMON. Instance of the program running in the memory. It is a program running in the memory. Okay? So that is called daemon. So if you are,
Can you repeat please?
DAEMON, daemon. It's an instance of the program. Instance, INSTANC, instance of the program running in the memory. So if I start HTTP, now this daemon is running, this service is responsible for HTTP service. So what is responsible for? Just I will give you the example. So if I say I will launch my browser, if I type 192.168 1 dot 210. Can you see Apache web server? This is a web server services. Okay, so I just type the IP address of my host name. Then how can I check the IP address of my host name? If config, I will cover more detail tomorrow, don't worry. So here this service is responsible for whatever I am getting in my browser, right? Suppose if I stop, how can I stop the services? Service HTTPD stop. If I stop the services, then if I refresh my page, what happened? Unable to connect. And you will see that service is not, the daemon, HTTP daemon is running in my system now? Nope. It's running? So everything daemon, it will show under the /usr has been. Okay? If that process is running means HTTP is running. So if I say like a service, other way you can start the process. This is service is the one of the command, right? Give the full path /etc/initd and HTTPD start. Okay, it started. Then I refresh my page. Got it? So this is the way in Unix works. So whatever the server, whatever the service you configure, first you need to install and then you have to start that services. How we can start the services? Using service command. Right? What is a service command? And another way to start, you can specify the full path, whatever the service. And there is a service called, another service is called, you will see whatever the files you are seeing here, these are the services is already installed in your system, just you need to start. So, you know, I said like NFS service, RPC bind service, and you know, these are the services. So I will cover more detail, each service responsible for what. So if I say like a RCC, you know, rsyslog service, rsyslog status, it's running. Then I say like a restart, it will restart. Okay, so this is the service responsible for the system event records in the system. What later? So this is the way services work in our system. But I want during the boot time, whatever the, go back to our, you know, run level directories.
How do you know your IP addresses, sir?
Don't worry about now. Tomorrow you will learn. Okay, you will go back to your home run level directory. There is HTTP service there.
No.
There is HTTP service, but what it's saying? Kill. So what it means?
It was running.
Killed.
If I boot my system in the run level 3, what happened to the HTTP service?
It will not run. It will not
Very good. It won't run. It will not run.
run.
Why? Because I am saying in run level 3, kill. If it is starting with the S, it means
Start with this.
start. But how can I configure? If I want to start any specific service during the system boot time. You got it? How can I start any specific service during system boot time? So what service I am talking about here? HTTPD. So first I want to see this service start, what is the status of this service in run levels. If I boot my system, there is a command called chkconfig. Okay? So chkconfig --, list HTTPD. So what it's saying? HTTP service name 0 of 1 of 2 of 3 of 4 of 5 of 6 of. Right? In all run levels, the service supposed to be off. So what do you expect in the run level directories? That file is exists with the starting with K in all the directories, right? Very good. Start means? Very good. Starting with S. So now, chk config --, level, httpd, what I did, sorry, level 345, httpd on. What that means?
You turn on the level 3, 4, 5.
Very good. So what do you expect now?
First zero is gonna be off.
0, 1.
If I do write chk config, again I will run my previous command. 0 is off, 1 is off, 2 is off, 3 on, 4 on, 5 on, 6 is off. So on means the file exists in the RC3 directory with starting with S or K? S. So what I will do, ls -l http *http. So what is starting with? What it means?
When you reboot, it's gonna be on.
Yes, when I reboot, I don't have to manually start. It's automatically starts. So there is some services, Oracle services, whatever the services, whenever the box we bounce about, the service has to become automatically. So using the chk config, we can do it. Right? Clear? Now, what the chk config is doing here? So, watch and tell me. If I say chk config level 3 httpd of, what the chk config is doing? If I say on, what it's doing?
Changing the link name, LinkedIn to K.
Yes, it's simply changing the symbolic links, right?
Yes.
And if I do, what it will show? If I run the chk config here, is off. Makes sense, right? So suppose what I will do here, I will manually what I did here,
Change
change the,
link to start change the link.
I change the link, I unlink this and relink with the starting with the httpds. So if I run the chk config command, what you will see in the run level 3? Huh? On. What chk config supposed to do, I did manually. chk config doing the same thing. So what the chk config doing behind the scene?
Changing the links.
Changing the links, managing the links. What do you need? If you say all, creating the symbolic link starting with the K. And what is the number? 85, 315, that is a sequence number. Okay? The number is low, it will start service early. If number is high, the service start later. Maybe that service depends on some other service. That service started first, then this service will start. Priority. Lower the number, higher the priority. Okay? So, this is the way it works. You got it? What the chk config is doing? Changing the links. Suppose, if I ask you, if I have a custom process or a program, I want to start in run level 3. And it is not recognized by the chk config. So how can I do it? Did you understand? Suppose if I have a custom program, it is not under the chk config. It is not controlled under the CHK config. But I want to start that program in the run level 3 whenever I reboot my mask. How can I do it?
You can link it. You can create, but the link.
Very good. Just simply you have to create the symbolic link. Right? Create the symbolic link starting with the S in the concerned run level directory. Clear? This is important. This will be interview question. I always ask this question because most of the people don't know the answer. Right? So we got it right. What the CHK config is doing. Just okay. I don't think it. You guys have the HTTPD installed. So, but you can try using the instead of HTTP services. I said I highly recommend you guys to try like a CHK config or list or syslog. Everybody has this service, I know. Okay, then do like CHK config level 0 and 2, 3, 4 or syslog, or then run the CHK config again, then do like ls -l or syslog, then run the command unlink k88 rsys, then cran s. I don't know what was the.
Can you create just any number that you want?
Yeah, you can. Got it? Please try this. I will give you 2 minutes. So this is the way we start the services. So you will see in the networking, same thing, like if I do ls network, in run level 3, the network service is starting with S. So this is the way the run level services started. Okay? Then finally, excuse me, all the run levels, whatever you specify in the services directly, starting with the S, it gets started. And finally, once the system is up totally, there is a file rc.local get executed. The purpose of this file is just a file. Whatever you specify in this file, you touch the file, you create the file, you want to start some process. Once your system is 100% up, this is the file get executed. Okay? So now the question, so now we know the booting process, right? The booting process is first BIOS initialization. Second, the BIOS passes control to the first stage of the bootloader, that is MBR. The MBR passes control to the grub, second stage of the bootloader. What the grub will do, it is initialize the kernel. What the kernel will do, detect all the devices, initialize all the drivers, and mount the file system into read-only mode. Then what happened? Init process will kick off. After init process will kick off, init process will read the etc init file for which run level system has to boot. And after that, system initialization rc.sysinit file will execute it. This file is responsible for configuring the host name, configuring the network services, configuring the UDEV devices, configuring the SC Linux, configuring the firewall, and mount the file system into read-write mode. Then after all the run level services will start. I will cover you after that. Okay, all the run level services will start. Once all the services started, the final file will get executed rc.etc rc.d/rc.local. Any questions so far? No questions so far. Very good. So now I will tell you, during the system boot initialization happen, my system is crashing after BIOS. Once the BIOS initialization happen, after BIOS, my system is crashed. It's not going further. What is the problem? Huh? Very good. After the BIOS, what happened? The MBR supposed to take it control and passes to the grub. But MBR is corrupted. How can we fix the MBR? There is a command grub install and boot device, whatever the boot device. This command, when you run this command, it will fix the MBR. Any questions? Any questions?
Just grab install, that's it?
Yeah, grep install, if it is installed in the /dev directory, whatever, suppose the operating system install under the /dev SDA1. So grep install /dev SDA. It will install all the grep.
How can you print that command if the system doesn't?
That was the question I am expecting. What is the question? Man, if I try to put up the system and the system is after grep, it's not after BIOS initialization, it's not going anywhere. How can I run that command? Right? Make sense? So this is a very tricky part. This is important. They will ask sure in the interview question after BIOS to see how good you are in the booting sequence. So if you are after the BIOS, it's not going anywhere. It means the problem with the MBR sector. How can you fix the MBR sector? You can fix the MBR sector. So this is my machine. What I am going to do? I will shut down this machine. I will boot this machine with the CD. So now storage, I said add CD, choose disk, then this is my CentOS 4 machine, open, and I will try to boot my system using the CD. Let's see. Okay, I got this prompt. So but I don't want to do the reinstallation. Okay? So what option I have to select here? Rescue mode. No, rescue install system. So what option I have to select? Rescue install system. So I have to boot my system using the CD, bootable media, in the rescue mode. Okay? In the rescue mode, once I enter it, my system will initialize. So basically I am booting my system with not with the hard drive. Whatever the CD I have, I am booting with that CD. So let's see what happened now. So again it will prompt you English, US, local media. You can see, right, rescue mode, it's gone. So Anaconda CentOS is running rescue mode. So it's saying, do you want to start the network configuration? I don't need network configuration, no. Then the rescue environment will now attempt to find your Linux installation and mount it under /mnt-sys. So what it means? So whatever I install in the hard drive, whatever the operating system I install in the hard drive, it's going to mount in the /mnt-sys image. Okay? So it's going to available under the / into just what I have to do? Continue. Okay? Then it's saying your system has been mounted under the sys image. Press return to get the shell. If you like to make your system the root environment, run the command chroot mnt-sys image like your real system. Okay? So I said okay and okay. Then shell, I said start shell. I got the shell, right? So it said if I do df-l, my whole disk under mnt sys image, right? So now I am just using the operating cd command. So if I want to make my system like a root environment, what command I have to run? Chroot sys image mnt sys image. If I run df command, now it's like my real operating system. Then what I can do here?
Type the command.
Grub install /dev sda. Got it, brother Saleh? So what you have to do? You have to boot your system into. So you can see installation finished, no error reported. Okay? Then installation, this is the content of the device, blah 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 blah. Grub install. So it will, if there's a MBR sector is corrupted, you can fix this way. Interviewer asks, if your system, booting your system is not coming up after the BIOS, no, you know the system is not going further. What is the problem? Problem is the MBR sector. Your answer should, the MBR sector might be corrupted. Then how do you fix the MBR sector? I will boot the system with the bootable media in the rescue mode. He will understand what you're talking about. Just follow the directions. Then you will get the prompt. Run the command grub -install /dev /sda. Your system will MBR will fixed. Any questions? So once I say exit, my system will reboot. So I will turn off the system. Then what I will do, I will go into the settings and storage. I will remove this media. Then okay, then I will boot my system. So my system will come normally. Okay? So this is the way you can fix the grub. If your init tab is corrupted, then boot into a single user mode, task the one and boot your system and fix your init tab. Okay? So my system is relabeling the SE Linux relabeling because it get messed up. So don't worry about now. Now one final thing I want to check, show you guys how the chk config is identifying the number and giving the sequence during the startup and kill. So every startup script, look at the httpd file. init.d directory. Look at the httpd file. So chk config is the syntax. This is the thing syntax is identifying. This is 85 is for the start sequence and 15 will be shut down. Okay? So suppose if I have a program, I will show you. Copy httpd, I copy like a custom, something custom. Then vi custom. Okay, I remove everything from here to okay, I remove everything, right? So what are the things I keep? I give just name custom, okay? And these are all common. So if I do like a chk config, ---- list custom, it will show what it's saying. Service custom support chk config, but not reference to any run level. So what is telling me? First add, using the add command, add the custom service into chk config control. So chk config ---- add custom. It's added. If I do list, So my script is not doing anything. But how can I add into the CSK config control? By adding CSK config -add. But important thing is CSK config, I want to remove it. Del custom. Okay, it's removed now. So important thing is this CSK config syntax. If this syntax is not available, you cannot add it. Suppose if I change CSK config to 1, just I made the mistake, and then I try to add CSK config add. Service custom does not support it. Why? My CSK config command is checking for this syntax CSK config, right? Now it is right syntax. So if they ask how can you compliance or how can you make compatible your custom program with the CSK config, what are the things your startup script has to be have? CSK config, right? CSK config colon dash start sequence number and kill sequence number. Okay guys, any questions?
Start and sequence number you just.
85 is the start sequence number starting with S. 85, it will start on that sequence. Kill means 15.
But you can do any number.
Yeah, whatever you want to customize, you can customize. So I will stop here and tomorrow I will start networking. If you guys have any doubt, anything is you are not sure, please stay.